Blog Talk Radio.
2 years ago.
Good evening, everyone. We got us in the building. DurDanah Radio. The guy Rashad. Chop it up with me a little bit. This is KROWN Knowledge Radio. Power in the crown, in the crown, in the crown. Good evening, everyone. We got us in the building. DurDanah Radio. The guy Rashad. Chop it up with me a little bit. This is KROWN Knowledge Radio. Power in the crown, in the crown, in the crown. evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Welcome to The Crown. You are listening to Crown Knowledge Radio, and I am the host in the forum tonight, DurDanah Rafia. And thank you guys for joining us tonight. I am in the building tonight, of course, with the one and only, none other than the God Rashad in the building. Rashad, can you hear me okay?
Yes. How y'all doing?
All right. As you can see, Rashad, Dre and I are trying out the new intro for the show. It is a work in progress. He's still trying to capture the essence of both of our voices, but I mean, so far, how are you liking it?
Yeah, I like it. I'll see that grooving.
Yeah. It's he's going to add a little bit more to it. We got a exit song that we're going to play, a line that we're going to play tonight at the end of the show. And so he's working on that. He's trying to get, little snippets here and there. But like I said, y'all, rock with us for a little while. We're going to pull things together. It's not a race, it's a marathon. So we're just trying to make sure that we get a few pieces in place before we move forward. But yeah, your voice is a little more powerful than mine. So he said, I talk really quick. Hey, what can I say? When I'm channeling y'all, I go in. I don't want to stop. So you have to stop me. But other than that, I just wanted to introduce that our sound guy, DJ Dre, and he is producing some nice new music for the Crown. So that's what's happening right now. Rashad, what's up with you before you introduce the show tonight? Say good evening to the people.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing today? It's a great day today. Had a pretty good day today. I'm just chilling now, ready to get this whole bang going. Are you ready to let go?
Yeah, that is the question. And so tonight, everybody, we're going to be talking about the mastery of letting go. And I've already had a couple of people kind of email me and said, okay, we're trying to get into the show and da-da-da-da-da. And, and there's a couple, just particularly family members, but a couple of people like, oh, okay, what is this about? Because I'm starting to, and it's not even really starting to. Me and Rashad started this show a long time ago, as most of you probably know, a while back, like 2011, somewhere around there. And so anyway, fast forward, we're trying to really create the Crown Knowledge brand, really get everybody into what Crown Knowledge is about. And not only that, the most important thing of all is that it's time. Not just for Crown Knowledge Radio, but it's time. And so this should be the time where you're purging, where you're letting stuff go, where you're telling your truth, where you're being your more authentic self, where you're getting into more of what truly serves you, like dumping the bullshit, the little petty stuff that's not feeding your energy or your energy. Those things that you just don't really feel like, what, is this a waste of my time? Is this something that's really going to push me forward in humanity? Does it have anything to do with my experience here on this planet that we live in this human form that we're in right now as spiritual beings? We are not humans. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. The human part of it is what it is. I get it. But there's so much stuff going on. I don't even know where to start, Rashad. It's like I got like some notes that I was jotting a few minutes ago before the show, but it's so much. It is so much. What do you hold on to, and what do you let go? Go ahead.
No, I was piggybacking off of the current events and everything. It's so much going on that I have to just, sit down somewhere and close off in my little space for a few minutes or so, because it becomes overwhelming. Like, man, okay, this ABC is going on, and little Johnny down the street has shot somebody, or, the neighborhood kid is, it's crazy. I'm learning about the whole Aurora, the Northern Lights are like pretty much all over America right now, and I'm like,
Aurora Borealis.
How does this happen? Yeah.
My niece just told me about it today, and I told her, I said I could have swore I was looking at something, and I just skipped right over it. I thought it was like where they usually kind of get a glimpse of it, Arizona or Switzerland. It didn't really dawn on me. And she said you could see it from our lake here. And I'm like, what? I mean, she said something happened. I really didn't get the full story, but she just, I cannot make this up. My niece just walked up to me and today, and she's like, yeah, Auntie, everybody's talking about the Aurora Borealis. Did you see it? And I'm like, here? And she said, yeah. And so, yeah, I don't know.
We can see it down
I
here
just
in
found out
Tennessee.
about it today. Go ahead. You said what?
We can see it down here in Tennessee.
Yeah, she said you could see it right over the lake where I'm at Lake Erie. So she's like, people were saying, yeah, you can see it big as day. It's right there. I was like, and somebody had tried to capture it with their phone, and it wasn't the Aurora Borealis the way you see it. I guess the way they have it shown, because I've never seen it in person, but the way they have it depicted. But I could see the colors that she was talking about. She said, you see the green and the blue, and somebody had forwarded to her on their phone, but they couldn't capture it. For some reason, they couldn't capture it on their phone. I don't know if somebody eventually did get a picture of it on their phone. She said, but looking at it, you could see it clear as day. I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then the vortexes over New York, did you see that? I don't know. I got to look into that a little bit more before I speak on it. I don't know if it was real or not. But they said, yeah, something that looked like spinning clouds. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to speak a lot on it because, some of that stuff, people making up so much shit right now. It's just like, yeah, let me wait. Because and I'm like, what? And for some reason, only the people in New York can see it. That's weird by itself. Like, I don't know. I don't know if other people saw it somewhere else. But, yeah, there was some type of spinning vortexes in New York. But, yeah, so we're talking about letting go. And why are we talking, and again, I always play devil's advocate in the Crown because I want to see and hear and experience while I'm here as a human, both sides of the fence. Well, why are we even talking about, why do we have to let anything go, DurDanah? Well, the same reason why we talk about high vibrations, the same reason why we talk about the shift, and what you're feeling as this earth is shifting, because it's shifting whether you know it or not, whether you believe it or not, or whether you care or not. It is shifting. And you may understand certain behaviors that you're going through right now, and then again, you may not. Doesn't even matter. It's happening whether you want it to or not. The same reason why we talked about worship, Gene. The same reason why we talked about last Sunday. We kind of stumbled in the beginning through Eve of Destruction, but, you have to really tune into what we're saying. If you're tuning into what we're saying, you'll find your authentic path. Why do we talk about the authentic path? And so on and so forth. So this is why we talk about it. Why? Because the things that you hold on will hold you here from your next life. I know it sounds weird. It sounds strange. Like, why the fuck would I care? If I'm going to die, I'm just going to die. And, I'm going to try to get as much shit as I can. I'm going to try to take as much stuff as I can. Funny, when you told me this topic, Rashad, right after that, was watching something again. I can't remember exactly what it was, but this guy's like, I think it was another podcast about the NDEs. I do believe, I'm not sure. But basically, this guy was saying that you do have somewhat of an interesting experience if you are vibing low when you cross over. And again, I told you, I've listened to at least a few of these. I know I haven't listened to 100 yet, but at least 20 or 30 of them, probably more. That's a low number because I've watched a lot of them over the last couple of months. And no two experiences are the same, y'all. I'm so sorry to say. Yeah. It's not like everybody going to go over there and meet the same Jesus. That's not going to happen. I haven't heard that yet. Everybody's not going to go over and experience the same, I don't even know what you want to call it, hellfire, damnation, evil, devil, I don't know. It's something over there like that, but not everybody is experiencing it the same way. So it really does have something to do with what you're holding on to over here. Go ahead.
It's kind of, I guess it's like the simple fact, no two people have the same fingerprints. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's experience will be different. Ain't there something, out of all these, we're up to 6 billion or so, 7 billion people?
Or so
everybody
people.
got different fingerprints.
Correct.
So everybody's experience won't be the same. It's not a cookie cutter experience. So whatever you train your mind to, or however way your mind has been indoctrinated or trained or programmed, that will be your reality. You hear all the time, create your own reality. You know what I'm saying? So build that afterlife you want, if you understand what I'm saying. Whatever you believe, you take with you. If you believe a red man gonna come out with a pitchfork, you will see that.
You're gonna see that red man with a pitchfork. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you may see a bunch of other stuff along with it. There was a couple of things that was interesting to me, and I don't know, like I said, I don't know if this is just a spiritual download about these NDEs, and I started looking at them because it's like everything else I do in my life. I watch a lot of tarot. I watch a lot of the mediumship work. Sometimes I'll go into alien stuff. Then I'll watch Ancient Aliens. That was my thing for a while, Rashad. And then I'll go into different types of podcasts of, higher knowledge. And then I might watch cartoons for 2 weeks. I don't know. Wherever my spiritual channel takes me, that's where I am. Sometimes I like a good animated cartoon. Most of them I don't think are for children anyway, but I digress. But it was interesting, though, when I started watching the stuff for the NDEs, I was kind of torn because I'm like, okay, what were the Egyptians trying to tell us, or the so-called Egyptians trying to tell us when they were putting stuff, things into their tombs or graves or whatever, what sarcophagus or whatever you want to call it. They had stuff in their tombs. I'm assuming that that's what that was, because a lot of the stuff that they're doing in so-called Egypt, which is really sub-Saharan Africa, it's still, some of it is a little distorted. They're saying that the pyramids were built as tombs, but that's not true. I think the pyramids were built for something else. I think these people was trying to really get the fuck off the planet in some sort of a ship, and the pyramids helped them to do that. I think there's something that fit over top of those pyramids that got them the fuck out of here when they wanted to. So I don't know. I don't know. Somebody call me, 515-605-9858 if you think that's it, or if you think it was something else. But it was very interesting because they're saying that one woman in particular, she said she had the near-death experience, but she understood somehow that she had the choice to come back if she wanted to. It was pretty much free will. But then it was another gentleman that said he didn't want to come back. And the entity that he was speaking to at that time, again, he said it was God. Some people said it was their grandfather. Some people said their grandfather or grandmother sent them back, or their loved one said you can't stay, or something to that effect. But and I guess that's why they call it a near-death experience. No one told them they had to stay, that you have to. No one. Not yet. I haven't. I haven't heard, because if they said, "Well, you have to stay," and they said, "No, I'm going back," and they went back, it wouldn't be a near-death experience. You just dead. So at some point, they're going to tell you, "Look, if you die and you get that message that you can't come back, then okay, that's what we perceive as death." And there's another gentleman that said something very interesting. Well, he said the fact that you leave your human form really has nothing to do with death. And that kind of makes sense to me. I think I get it. I said, yeah, that kind of makes sense to me. If you're saying you're going on to life, I think the death comes when your body can no longer have a, I don't know. I guess you say your body is no longer having a human form experience at some point. Y'all got to help me out with this because it's a lot. I'm not saying I got the answers. I'm trying to work it out with y'all, but it's very interesting. But when there's a young lady that had children, she ended up coming back. A young man had a twin brother, and him and his twin brother had plans to build together, and he came back. There was the woman that they told her in the spirit realm that she was going to get a divorce from her husband, but she had 3 daughters, and she had to go back. It was people, places, things. I'm not saying let go of, your bags and your shoes and all that. That should be a given. If you're understanding what you're understanding now in human form about money and commerce and clout and celebrity and fame and fortune and money and whatever it is, we kind of get that on a human level. But what about love? There's somebody you truly love and you don't want to leave them. Your grandmama and granddaddy been together for 57 years. You just had a brand new baby, and then you were diagnosed with a disease. You're worrying about building this foundation, and you have so much money in the bank, or you don't have any money, but you just caught on to this idea that could make you and your family rich. It's funny how the world has a way of giving you a taste of what you're truly addicted to.
Man.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm saying I think this is me personally, I was saying that everybody has a different experience. I think once that you have acquired enough light that once you do cross over, okay, I'm going back home, It's like I forgot who I was listening to that was talking about the difference of new souls and old souls. I've been told my whole life I got an old soul. Everything is familiar to me. It's like I've done this several times. He was saying that the new souls are the people who are just fully human. They love it here. It's fun to them. It's exciting. But after so many incarnations, you're like, okay, I'm sick of this shit now. You know what I'm saying? So once you get to the other side, you're like, you know what? I done did my thing. That's the last time I'm gone. I'm about to go see what else is out here. You know what I'm saying? Some more experiences. Create your own life, your own, create your own planet, whatever you want to do. Because, we have that spark in us to do that. But after so many cycles, you get, what's the name of the book? I think, I want to say it's the Gnostic Bible. They was talking about the new and old souls as well. They were saying that a soul is at its last cycle when they come back here and they're just not satisfied. Nothing seems right.
Just reminded me.
They see through all the bullshit. They have so much sorrow because they see other souls going through bullshit, and it don't have to be that way. And once you over the shit like the glitz and glamour and the illusion of everything, you start to come to knowledge of self. Okay, what am I? Who am I? Why am I here?
That
you start
part.
to learn more, and you have this unquenchable thirst to want to know more. So when you fill up with so much light, and when you do pass over, oh, you gone. But if you like, fuck, man, I really want the new rims or that new purse, yeah, your ass coming back here, because that's what you wanted, that's your desire. So
Right. Yeah, I think one of the biggest addictions on the planet right now is power in the form of control by any means necessary. And I say one of the biggest addictions on the planet, because there are so many ways out there in this human form on this planet that you can administer to humanity to get them addicted so that you can control them or manipulate them in so many different ways so that you can control them, or scare them in so many different ways in humanity so that you can control them. It's like the young lady was saying again. She said fear mongering is still alive and well.
Oh yeah.
So there are a variety, a plethora, if you will, of ways to manipulate someone into controlling them until you begin to seek your higher self. I'm telling y'all, I know y'all get tired of hearing that. We can't make this shit up. I know you get tired of hearing. Every time they get on the show, all they do is talk about vibration, vibing this and vibing that, and they trying to vibe and vibration, high vibe, and what is? I vibe all the time. Every time I get me a joint and put on a good rap record, I'm vibing. That's very true. Smoke your joint, listen to a good song. That is vibing. That is true. That's a form of vibing. Hell, having sex. That's a form of vibing. Drinking alcohol, liquor, that's a form of vibing. Cussing somebody out, that's a form of vibing. Everything that you do is energetic. But now, mind you, you can either give the power away or you can use it on yourself. And not just for a high vibration, for a fucking evacuation. And again, peace out to the brother Bobby Hemmett. He said the Egyptians were so focused on getting the fuck out of here. That's all they ever talked about. Was how to leave this fucking planet. They were obsessed with the afterlife.
Yep. And another thing too, he always said as well too, it's like all the ancient civilizations, you see no drawings, no carved in stone pictures or anything of children.
No, not really. Except for Heru, and Heru was, well, yeah, go ahead and say it, DurDanah. Heru was the original baby Jesus. He was that which is all that is, whatever y'all want to call it in your holy books. That was the baby. But he was incarnated here to help y'all get the hell out, to get out of this human form. So stepping outside your human form by understanding your spiritual self. What is the new saying everybody's saying now? Go within so you won't go without.
And the only way out is in.
The only way out is in. That is the only way out of this mess, this horrific And again, I want to go back to the dude. You sent me some information on this guy a couple of days ago, and he was talking about. He said, "Look, I'm not connected to this. I'm not married. I don't have no children. I don't have no social life." But remember that?
Yeah.
That dude. And he was like, and I didn't listen to the whole thing because after he had said all of that, I cut it off. I was like, I got to figure out who this dude is. and again, you and I have had this conversation. Those things that I thought I was supposed to do as a human on this planet never worked out for me, but I had every opportunity to do them. I had opportunities that other people actually didn't have to get, several degrees. I had an opportunity to do that, to work in Fortune 500 companies. A lot of people did not have access to do that. Like, I'm talking on a normal, regular humanity level. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about something, I'm not talking about working for the Pentagon. I'm just saying I had these roads open to me. And there were things in my life that I thought I was supposed to do because that's what people expected for me to do. And it's funny how little you can know about yourself. I thought, people expected for me to have a family and marriage, family, children, the picket fence, the degree, all of that, this and that. And although those opportunities came my way, it never worked out for me. It just was not in the and I'm thinking, yeah, something's not right. Like I wasn't comfortable. It wasn't that I didn't want children. I honestly felt like I did not need them. And it's weird. It's very strange. And I know some people are like, "Oh my God, oh my Lord, that's horrible." What do you mean you didn't? Let me tell you something, honey. Everybody that's got children don't need them. Like, just because you have them. And then there are some people whose children chose to come here. That's a whole nother show. I am not the authority on children because I don't have them. But what I'm saying is there are parents that need children, and there are children that need parents. It could go both ways. All the children that come here are not because you wanted a beautiful baby. Come on, let's just call it what it is. So all of the children didn't come here planned, but they may have made an agreement, just like we did. I don't think I was a planned child. I think my mother met a dude, and hey, there was some good slow songs back then. A lot of babies have been made off of slow songs and R&B grooves back then. We get it. I am the baby of 10. Kiss my ass if I was planned, because I know good and well I am the baby of 10 children. So yeah, no, I already know. But the thing of it is, coming here, I chose to come here. That had to be the plan because I was premature. So for some reason, I was in a hurry because in my mind, I'm thinking I'm gonna hurry up and go back because this time I'm gonna get this shit right. I was in a hurry. I was almost. That's weird. And when I got here, the human-ass doctor said she ain't going to make it. But I had an angel in the form of my sister that just passed away and said, yeah, you got to make it. Because we got some generational curses that only you are going to understand. So at that point, everything else was irrelevant. So I'm walking around here as a human like, damn, I'm bored because I did this shit before. And you know what? That's not even my lane. Why? Because I'm familiar with it. Or it's on a vibrational level that I'm just not clicking with. I was antisocial. I was shy. I was chubby, then I was curvy. I was ugly duckling, then I turned into a beautiful, voluptuous swan and didn't even know it. Then I had guys that wanted to be with me, and I wasn't interested. And then when I got interested, I picked the wrong motherfuckers. Let's just be real about this, y'all. I'm telling you my life story. You know why? Because I understood. And I'm like, well, in another life, I might have been this. Let me do this. This could have been my unconscious choice. But what I wasn't doing was connecting myself to anything on this planet. Still to this day. So I understand where the dude was coming from. He's like, yeah, I don't have this. I ain't got that. I don't want that. I'm not interested. I ain't even got a social life. I was like, dude. It's interesting, especially when you have those things open to you. And then there are people who feel like they have to have it all. I want it all. The Diddies of the world, I'm sorry, Puffy. I ain't picking on you, but I'm just saying. There are people on the planet who, you remember the superhero show where the guy wanted the power? I don't know if it was, I think it was a villain in one of the, like Batman, Superman, and they was like, yeah, you go ahead and, the more power you get, I think it was in the Green Lantern too. And they said, the more we can give you more power, give them more power, because the more power they take, the faster to kill them.
Yeah.
In other words, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. I get it. But, like I said, I'm not picking on poor Diddy. He going through enough shit without my mouth on him. But I'm just saying, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. And then people look at my life, well, girl, you don't have this and you don't have that. And y'all just don't know. I've dodged several bullets. Several. Like, oh, look how that turned out. Ain't God good? Sometimes you just have to look back and say, oh, okay, now I see why. Okay. And I'm just now coming into that. I'm still trying to understand as a human a lot of things that's going on, but there are some things that, God has to give you a yes just so he can get to the no. I know it's weird. It's very strange. Go ahead.
No, I was agreeing. Yeah, but I feel you on that, having access to stuff, and you're like, nah, I'm fine. Because with me growing up, I had access to so much stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, if I wasn't conscious as a child and teenager, I'd probably been bigger than El Chapo.
That part.
Because all that stuff came to me so easily. I mean, not even thinking about it.
Not even thinking about it. Not even in your lane.
It just came, and people like that, for some reason, gravitated to me. Like the toughest dudes. And I was just, I had one or two friends who didn't really hang out with a whole bunch of people. But it was always the biggest dude that was known in the neighborhood just gravitated to me. And I was like, why do these people keep coming to me?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I was some kind of general at one point in time, but they just naturally came to me.
Correct. And I was the complete opposite. Never. I was shy. I did not open my mouth. I really didn't talk to a whole lot of people. And it wasn't for the reasons people said I was doing it, but it was just a complete, I was just that type of person. I wasn't the black girl in the room running her mouth all the time. I was not her. Crown Knowledge is the most I've ever run my mouth in my life. I was just that girl. I was the girl in the corner in the room, very unassuming. I wasn't that female. Like every time you would come into town, we know who she is. Everybody knew my family members just recently, like in my late 30s or so, people are just, oh, she the baby girl, because nobody knew me. Nobody knew who I was. They knew of my family. Let me just let you understand, my family is very well known. Nobody knew me. I was just that person. I was painfully shy coming through school at certain school ages. I was that chick. Let me do what I got to do and go the fuck on home. I played some sports, but just barely. I did the bare fucking minimum. I got the grades I was supposed to get, and I took my ass home. And then as I got older, you know, it was still kind of the same thing, but then now I've grown up and I'm like, you know, I'm the size of my sisters, and they're like, look, girl, you better take that out there and show it off and move it around. Like, what? Like, really, this is what we doing? But I had no interest in it. I did it to go along, to get along, and I am saying this on radio recorded. It wasn't my lane.
Yeah.
I saw what the females was doing to the men in my neighborhood. That wasn't my lane. I saw what was going down. I see why the relationships ain't working. I see what's going on over here. I see what you're doing behind closed doors. I see what's happening over here. I see what you do over here, but when ain't nobody looking, you doing this over there. I'm seeing this as a young child, as a kid. I'm watching this go down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Same thing, like I said, for me, I had access to, but it was not my lane. And the only thing that kept me out of it, like for it not being my lane, was one thing that I saw that everybody else ignored. I was like, man, dude, that lifestyle affects children. You know what I'm saying? You're damaging families. And I was like, nah, man, I ain't with this shit at all. That's not me. That ain't my lane, bro.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, I can't put my family's business out in the street, but you and the town that we lived in, nothing's really changed. Everybody knows everybody. It's still the same. Everybody knows what you're doing, because now it's even worse because there's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. And so and even as you get older, there should be certain things you don't even want to do. That's the way it should be. Mm-hmm. It's not always that way, though. Somebody go figure out a way to keep on doing whatever the fuck it is they want to do. But, like the clubs, they close down certain clubs, and you have to understand that it's by design. Even in humanity, they want to keep you bored because it's easier to get you addicted. Well, addicted to what, DurDanah? Addicted to ignorance, first of all. Because the less you can move around on the outside in humanity, the more somebody can say, hey, you can do this. You got some spare time on your hands? Try this. There's a new drug coming out every 15 minutes now. It used to be 2 drugs, weed and cocaine. And everybody was on one or the other. Now there are the smorgasbord is crazy. You can intermix and mingle drugs and make your own drugs, and if that ain't enough, even in the spirit world, they want to tell you these new wave gurus. They got mushrooms. They done made a comeback. Ayahuasca. I don't even think anybody really know what that is, but they run to the jungle and drink this shit. Like you don't even know what it is. What they're not telling you is if you are not spiritually grounded, it can kill you. They ain't telling you about the people that's dying from drinking that.
Yeah.
But you can have a bad trip on just about anything. The Most High Creator told me immediately, even with marijuana, my body's not made for it. not the way people are doing it now. So I've already ascended past that because of where we are now with it. So now, let's just say what marijuana was originally spiritually, earthly grown for by the Most High Creator organically has been misappropriated, to say the least, on this side of humanity. When they start making anything legal and tell niggas, yeah, y'all can go ahead and have it, I would think twice. Just put it that way.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, what?
Exactly. Yeah. I was about to say the same thing. If they make it illegal, I don't want to fool with it. Because now I smell somebody smoking. I'm like, bro, that ain't weed, man. I don't know what that is, but that ain't weed.
Yeah.
That is not weed. And just think about it. I don't know if you be around any younger people that do it, but the weed they smoke, whatever they smoking now, another reason why I say it's not weed, they are so addicted to it that they actually doing crime to get it. They sound real crackish to me.
That sounds like a different form of crack. Yeah. Like when you get to, because I didn't know anybody that was really addicted to weed, because we could smoke it and go to school and still do our homework and shit. Like we might have days where we skip school, because like I said, I made the grades that I was supposed to make. I promise you I did. And but then again, I wasn't back then a quote unquote weed head or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that. But the people that was smoking it and had it on a regular. I remember that we all went to school together. And nobody was, we didn't call people dope fiends that smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that. It wasn't that type of effect, even though they had the whole Reefer Madness movie. I remember that, the little black and white movie.
Yeah.
They tell you if you smoke weed, you go crazy or whatever. But no, anything that makes you feel like you can't live without it, like you got to have it, like you can't function in your normal body without it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not I said, I'm not an expert. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a weed connoisseur. I don't think. I mean, I don't know. Could Snoop just stop smoking weed? He probably hear me all the way in, where the fuck is he, Los Angeles? He probably hear me saying, "What that bitch say?" Could he just? I mean, does anybody think that can Snoop just stop cold turkey if he wanted to? That's a good question.
Crazy.
I don't know. I'm gonna try to send Snoop an email asking, like, Snoop, do you think you could ever just stop smoking weed cold turkey? Yeah, because this dude is in it to win it. He's like, yep. If I'm gonna go out, this is the way I'm going right here. I get it, and I kind of ain't mad at that. I mean, if that's his lane, that's his lane.
Yeah. But now, I mean, I'm hearing these young kids like, man, I gotta smoke before I wash my car. Man, I gotta smoke just to eat. Man, I gotta smoke before I smoke. I'm like, what the hell? What the fuck?
Not I gotta smoke before I smoke.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, I've heard that. Like when I get up, the first thing I do is blaze. That's what I got to do. I get up, first thing I do is blaze. Then I go on about my day. Or as soon as I get off work, I gotta fire one up before I go home, before I get to the house. That's what I got to do. Yeah, I got to go over. I mean, and this, because, and another thing they're not telling you is when those vape pens came out, a lot of those people that jumped on that vape real quick, now those particular teenagers are sick. They're not telling you that. All you got to do is look it up. I can't make this shit up. I'm not that good. You can't lie about shit nowadays because everybody got a point of view on it, or the truth is out there somewhere. But I'm just saying, there are news releases out there that they're burying about the people that jumped on those vape pens. I just thought it was weird. And not that it would have been my lane anyway. I don't, I'm not the type of person that I would be in public smoking anything. I'm not that person. But the vape pen, I just thought I don't know. It was just weird to see females, especially young, pretty females, and then all of a sudden you pull a vape pen out and you puffing on this. It just looked weird. It looked very weird. But now those individuals are ill. They're having lung problems. They're having asthma issues and emphysema. It was a whole list of shit. I was like, what in the hell? So that's why you don't see a lot of them are not advertised like they were at first. Everybody, you could go to every smoke shop, and I don't know if you noticed that. You noticed that in Nashville? Because I noticed it in a couple of other cities that I was in. They stopped advertising.
Yeah, they don't advertise no more, but it's plenty of shops though. Just like they hit they weed pen at work. Nobody know what they doing. You can't smell it. They just be
that part of the issue, but yeah, no, I and again, going back to letting go, and for me, not only letting go completely unattached, but again going back to the brother Master Bobby, and he's saying that and again I'm just kind of piggybacking off of his words of being connected to most of the things in humanity are romanticized. So they romanticize these things in order to get you addicted to them or trapped in them. Now, let me say this too before I, say, well, you act like we can't do nothing. No, what I'm saying is if that's your lane, then that's your lane. But what I'm saying is that at some point in your transition, whether you're ascending, whether you've gotten to the age of crossing over or transitioning, or whether you are in a lifestyle that's really not serving you, but somehow you're doing it to cope with this thing we call humanity or human life or human flesh. And a lot of people say, well, you know what, DurDanah, that's what we came here for. We came here to experience all sorts of things. And that's what one of the NDEs said, Rashad, that, we agreed to come here to have all of the... So it begs the question of, does that include murder? And the interviewer asked this particular person that. And she said, that's exactly what she said. I said, does that even include that? Like child abduction? This is like a lot of stuff in there. Like, so my question is why? Like, I get it. And we have to be here in it. Mass shootings and trafficking. I mean, like, disgusting stuff when it comes to children. And again, like I said, the ditties of the world, I hope that don't become a catchphrase. I swear, I hope it don't. Go ahead.
I mean, for me, I mean, just to put it in perspective, I mean, my perspective is like, go back to the whole concept of, what do we call the creator? I mean, the polarities of good and bad. And we always say to be on the more conscious level, you're in the middle point. You're in the middle, you're like neutral. You can govern yourself without hurting people.
Mm-hmm.
And, shoot, well, if you eat too much junk, you get sick. You can actually work out a lot and eat healthy and still get sick. So that middle point, that the word I'm looking for, moderation. But going back to say this, we all have been taught that, God is this man. We've always been taught that God is a man.
Mm-hmm.
So we think that force, that energy that's called God, how could it let this happen? You know what I'm saying? But it's a part of the same thing. You can't have God without the devil. Matter of fact, they pretty much call Satan is when you in the human flesh. Now it makes sense why they call Earth the devil's playground.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's up to you, that one spark, to use your experience to once again vibrate higher, to flip the script for a new paradigm and a new shift. It's just like, think of the world now. Everything is out of whack. Everything is out of order. We are just here to correct it on the right wavelength and pattern. Just like Phil Vitam said, God doesn't redeem man. Man redeems God, because we are the vessels of God.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm really beginning to get a even deeper understanding of that, just based on my own experience, rightfully so. But one of the Serious Sex with the Goddess show, I think the last one that I did, I spoke about the Job experience and Job in the Bible. And again, I'm paraphrasing because I don't want to get stuff wrong, and then y'all come to me and that ain't what it says. But basically, you get the gist of it. So the devil went to God and said, Job is a man after God's own heart. He praises you every day. He thanks you for everything that you blessed him with, so on and so forth. And Job was like one of God's favorites, according to the holy books. Job, amongst other people in the Bible, but Job was like very special to God, according to the holy books. And the devil said, "Let me have him." Basically, let me get at him. I'm gonna make him turn on you. Pretty much, this is what Job is. This is what in the Bible. This is what the devil is talking to God about. He said, "Okay, I bet you I could make one of your children turn against you. I bet you I can. Let me get at him." And now here's the thing that I said in the show. Here's the key. God allowed, because the devil couldn't do it without permission. He had to ask God for permission to fuck with his chosen. He had to ask. He couldn't just go out there and willy-nilly start doing shit. So when God said, "Okay, I tell you what, you can do everything to Job, but take his life." He said, "Everything, anything? I can do anything to him." Yeah, you can do whatever you want to do to him, but you can't kill him. Oh, and the devil being the devil. Okay, when I get done with him, he's gonna turn on you. But Job never did. He prayed and he prayed. He lost his kids and he kept praying. He lost his mama and he kept praying. And I'm just making it up, but he did lose his children. He lost his wife. He lost his land. He lost his home. He lost everything. Famine. He was down to nothing, basically. They said Job was highly favored and blessed by God. But when God allowed the devil to walk, just traipses behind right on into Job's life out of nowhere and sabotage everything in his life. You can do anything to him, but don't take his life. And that's what happened. And then they said because Job was faithful to his higher self, God gave it all back to him tenfold. I don't know how you get stuff back tenfold, and he was already favored. But God, when the devil was done, and Job was still connected to the Most High God, God gave it all back to him tenfold. He got a brand new this and a brand new that and a brand new wife that came and gave him some brand new kids. You understand what I'm saying? How? And again, now this is the story in the Holy Book. Y'all got to read it for yourself. Don't come for me and saying that ain't what it says. I'm paraphrasing, but that is the gist of the story. This is what the story is saying. So my thing is how important, how vital, because if this low vibing entity was given permission from the Most High Creator to do this in a human's life, this is what I'm going to have come your way. And I'm going to see how you're going to deal with it. I'm going to see how you're going to experience this humanity when your back is against the wall. What are you going to do? Are you going to be a mass shooter? Can you deal with your sexuality? Can you deal with money? Can you deal with material shit? Can you deal with being abused and beaten? How do you come up out of that? How are you going to flip that? Can you deal with, people trying to sabotage your life, your enemies coming from you at all different directions? How do you deal with that? How do you deal with poverty? How do you deal with riches and wealth and fame? How do you deal with being a celebrity? What will you do for fame? How far will you go? How low can you go? What will you not stop at to get what you want? What will you do? What are you truly made of? Because I'm going to tell you, on the other side, the one thing that I am hearing from all of the NDEs that I've watched, these people that have died and come back, I ain't never died and came back. So I'm just saying, I'm watching the podcast like everybody else. It's the purest form of love that you can't even put words to it. That's what this feeling of love and comfort and protection feels like. You can't explain it. There are no words. It is nothing like you've ever felt over here. Nothing. There's nothing over here that can even come close. So there is something to this. I mean, we got to admit that much. It's something to us being over here with all this stuff that we hold on to, all of this shit that we hold on to, all of the grudges that we hold on to, all of the hatred and jealousy and envy and anger and revenge and the money and the misappropriation and the lies and what are we holding on to? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Man.
I've had loved ones cross over recently, a few cross over within just months of each other. And I'm not going to say that I can really speak to them, but I know that their presence is very near me. Because I would be lying if I could say I speak to them and I can hear them, but I sort of can. Like, I know that they're there. So I've been doing exercises with myself to try to communicate with them because we can. Mm-hmm. We've always been told that we should. Ooh, you can't do that. Ooh, that's, ooh, don't do that. Don't. If they don't want to talk, they won't say anything. But it's just a veil. And again, it was a different female, another individual, another NDE. She said, we are all in the same place. We're just in a different dimension. They can see us. And she said, and if you really want to, you'll be able to see them.
Yeah, it's like
to me. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like I was watching a video, and they were talking about quantum physics, and they said that they were saying that like humans only see 11% of what's around them.
Correct.
11%. That's nothing.
That's nothing.
That's
That
nothing.
is nothing. That is nothing. I see stuff I'm not supposed to see, but I see it anyway. It's weird. It was weird to me when it first started happening. It is weird now, but now that I'm getting more, I stay more in touch on a regular with my higher self. It makes more sense, and it's got to be by design. Come on, it's got to be. It is very strange, but that made a lot of sense to me when this one, and that's what she was actually talking quantum physics. I was getting ready to call her name because she's a professor, but she had a near-death experience, and she said, "Look, this is what we're dealing with." She said, "We are all in the same place. We're all still in the same place, but we're not in the same time, and we're not in the same dimension. And they can see us." Yeah, go ahead.
It's like we in the basement, and there's a whole damn house above our head we can't see.
Absolutely, yeah. That was, I was like, you know what? That kind of makes sense. When she said, I was like, you know what? That fucking makes sense. It really does. But yeah, I know that my loved ones, when I'm really, really going through it, and it's like I test myself now. Certain things that my one loved one would like. And so in my mind, I of course I speak to them telepathically, but I'm like, okay, this will show up. If you're here, this will show up. And I'm telling you, you practice it enough, the veil between you will get thinner, and they'll go ahead and talk to you in a specific way that you ask them to. And only a way that you and that person know. It's the weirdest shit. But now, you know, when it was happening before, I was kind of freaked out by it. But now I'm like, okay, I get it. You got to. What? Otherwise, why are we here? What are we doing? You understand what I'm saying?
Like we been so traumatized and programmed that, you know, we were able to do all those things. It just went atrophied.
Yeah, because I told you about my... No, I was going to say, because I told you, you know, before, you know, we kind of made that, you know, that ascension, I kind of kicked mine into gear at that particular time. And because I was asking that question way before I met you, and I was like, something's missing. Like, this ain't even. But then, and again, that explained all of the stuff that I just explained. Like, I wasn't interested in that. I wasn't interested in this. I really didn't care. I didn't have no desire. I really don't care. I don't give a damn what you think. I was just like, I wasn't interested in nothing. Like, I don't care. I just don't care. Like, there's something else going on here. Like, nobody sees this but me. Like, it was weird. It was very weird. And so it makes sense to me. It really does make sense. And again, you know, Crown family, we're not saying this is your lane. We're not saying that, you know, and the people that do vibrate and resonate with this show and what the guy Rashad and I talk about in this show, whether you want it or not, those questions are going to come around to you more now in this particular period that we call time, which is really an illusion, because this shift is happening, because we've had these solar and lunar eclipses, and because the Earth is shifting, because it's a live entity in itself. You are going to be, and even the people that don't ask those questions, they don't care. I'm out here doing what I want to do, the way I want to do it. I don't really care. This show ain't for you, no way. So, I mean, it's just that part. But then there's that part of people that be like, yeah, I'm out here, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and I'm this kind of person and I'm moving like this, but I don't want to do this my whole life. Like, what is happening? Like, why isn't something happening for me, or why am I not in a certain lane where I can be happy and I can be comfortable and I can be okay with myself? And you get that, okay, I get that I'm in a human form, but I want to be this elevated me. I want to be a better version of this human person that I'm doing now. And again, we're here to experience that. So when you start asking yourself those questions internally, it will start happening for you. I had to. I felt like I did not have a choice. I know this is my last rodeo because I asked for it to be. I done been here already several times. Your boy Rod Hayes, that you had me listening to not too long ago, a couple of days ago,
Mm-hmm.
he did an interview, like I said, with Black Magic 333. This nigga come on, he said, there are levels to this shit. He says some of us, he said, he agreed to keep coming back because all he does when he comes back is straighten motherfuckers out. You got to listen to this interview. When you, I was like, this the dude you was talking about? I'm like, yeah, I seen Rod Hayes like a while back, but I didn't know who he was because he looked real strange and weird, and then he kind of looked like a dude I used to know back in the day, and I was like, man, this dude looked familiar. I don't know. I just, when I saw him, he looked real familiar, but I don't remember where. But he did this interview with Magic. And yeah, he said he's like a dean of a university in the spirit realm. He said, I'm a dean of the university. He said, I keep coming back for students. He said, and I do it in a way, and you see how he talking, how he moving, where he looked like he living in his mama's house. Like his podcast always look crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm like, okay, Rod is cool people. But yeah, I saw one of his like with Panic or somebody. He did a show with somebody, and but yeah, he said I'm a dean in this motherfucker. He said, so I'm going. He said, I always volunteer to come back. He said, because when it's over, it's over. Basically, is what he's saying. He said, when it's over, it's over. He said, but I agreed to come back and get students that nobody else would be able to reach. And I was like, nigga, I get it. That makes so much sense. Like, yeah, it makes so much sense. Yeah.
What kind of got me onto him is like, I didn't know who he was, but like you said, when he was being interviewed or something, and I was looking at him. I said, man, this dude is like the dude from the hood.
Mm-hmm.
You saw him on every corner, but he was smart as hell.
Absolutely. I said, I know this dude. As soon as I saw him, I was like, and we probably do. That part. Yep. Either we was in one of his classes.
Real familiar to me.
Yeah.
He seems real familiar to me.
That is crazy. Because I was like, I know this dude. Like, I was like, where do I know him from? I was like, he looked familiar. He reminded me of such and such a so-and-so. And I'm like, and I just kept, I was like, wow. And then when he started talking, I was like, yep, I done talked to somebody that sound just like this guy. Like, I have talked to somebody that sound like him. So I was just like enraptured. I get it. It makes sense. Either we went to we go to his university, or we graduated from that motherfucker. One of the two. Yeah, but he said, I'm a dean. He said, I'm an equivalent to a dean in the spirit realm. I was like, this nigga. And Bobby Hemmett said that too, remember?
Mm-hmm.
He said, I will not be coming back to this motherfucker. He said, I got shit to do. Oh, peace out to the master, boy. Wow. He says, y'all motherfuckers don't want to learn this shit. It's like, yeah, you can either go back on the other side and teach. Yeah, like I said, that's probably why I was in such a hurry to get here, and I was premature, and I almost killed myself trying to get back because on the other side, I told them, I was like, oh, they said, you got one more trip. This is my last trip. So, yeah, because I was in a hurry to get this motherfucker.
It's funny you say that because my mom had the same thing. I almost didn't make it. The umbilical cord was wrapped around my neck.
I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, the doctors tell my mother, leave me in the hospital. You need to leave her here. She's not going to make it. And they said 3 nurses and my sister came to the hospital, and they was like, yep, she going home today. I was like, y'all took me. Mom said they took you right on up out of the hospital. I said, what's they going to do? Yeah, I was like, yeah. And I had 3 godmothers. That's crazy. I had three fairy godmothers. And my sister, the one that just recently passed away. And so they nursed me into health. I got nice and fat and plump, and still nice and fat and plump right now to this very day. To this very day. And, yeah, that's weird. But I was in a hurry to get here. I was damn near 3 months early. And I guess I said the sooner I get here, goddamn it, the sooner I can get it over with. Because I was in a hurry. I was like, yeah, let's go now. But yeah,
you knew you was in a hurry because you knew what happened when that baby brain get on your ass.
That part, I was like, the sooner I get here and get this party started, the sooner I can get the fuck up out of here. Yeah, but I mean, it makes so much sense. Like I said, the Rod Hazen dude, when you sent me that, and I was like, yeah, it was weird to hear dudes say that. You don't hear I mean, unless they're a priest or a monk or a pastor or yeah, I don't know. You don't hear too many guys saying, yeah, I'm not connected to shit on this planet. Women kind of are by default sometimes. I know I made certain decisions, and I get it. As a human, I made certain decisions like, yeah, I might do this, but I'm not going to do that. And that was my decision. But it's really weird to hear a dude say, yeah, I don't, and be that age. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I know they're out there, but it's weird. Like you see a lot of women that they got their self and their cat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's that kind of lifestyle, and it's kind of a norm as far as humanity goes. But for a dude to say, "Yep, I don't have this, I didn't do that, I don't have kids, I don't have this, I'm not connected to that, I don't have social life," I'm like, God damn. I had to look at him real close to see if he was another reincarnation of me, because I was like, yeah, I ain't never heard too many dudes say that. Not too many. But yeah, so I'm in the process of trying to track dude down and just get his perspective on, what's going on his spiritual side, because I just thought it was, I mean, I get it now. I have a better understanding based on just, Bobby Hemmett and his view about being stuck on shit down here. He said he went to college on and off just for the hell of it. He said just for the 3 hots and a cot. And he said when he didn't have nowhere to live, he would just go back to school. And he said, and it's going to come down to, getting you a sandwich and an ice cold glass of water, nigga.
And somewhere to sleep.
And somewhere to sleep. He said he could do that. But yeah, it's not easy. We get it. Humanity has a lot of shit. No, go ahead.
I think that as time progresses, a lot more people like that are going to come up, because there's actually a lot of people that's like that. I know a few guys that were friends of friends or even family members. They still single. You hardly see them. They just like, man, I just be in my own little world, man.
Correct.
But as time goes by, more and more people will come out like that, because like I know, they are not pressed by the social standards. They're like, no, I'm going to do what I want to do, man. I mean, I ain't bother nobody. But, like I sent you that message, apparently not bothering people bothers people, so they stay out the way. They don't come around. If they do, it's about 10, 15 minutes, and they gone again.
Yeah, my my nephews have socialized, but it's two of my nephews in particular, and I think they're brilliant young men. I really do think they are brilliant young men, but it's the whole you have this brilliance that's been forced to live in this box.
Yeah.
And so the boxes conform the thinking of this being, just based on that box that you live in. But I think in another world, another earthly experience, and I hope maybe not in my lifetime, but they'll be able to grow out of it and especially leave this place because of the vibration here. And I'm talking geographically where we are right now. It's not allowing them to blossom to their potential.
Yeah.
And it's sad to watch. It really is. And I kind of, the oldest of the two, and I told him, I'm like, if I took you anywhere else, if I took you to, let's just say New York right now, you would blossom, you would flourish. Because I think that's your lane. Because he's very artistic, he's very smart, he's brilliant, he's deep, he has so much, he's conscious, and he knows it, but he doesn't know it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the people around him are just pressing down on him, so he don't even bring it up. He just Yeah, you can't. And remember that, that was something that we had to learn as well. It's namaste. So you have to recognize the God in someone, and they have to recognize the God in you for you to even to begin a conversation, even on a human level, when it comes to being that way. And we found each other somehow all these years. He's been my family, and all these years, and just by his grandmother passing away, my sister, he came to me, and he's like, how did I not know this about you? I said, maybe half the people I know don't know this about me. I said, but it's okay. It's not for everybody to know. And until, I'm saying, but I'm like, I really want you to blossom. So he was the other person I was trying to get into the show. He did ask me about the show tonight. I sent him the link, and he said if he don't get in, he would listen. Because we were having those types of conversations, but I think he's like a dope young dude. He could probably have anything that he wants. He doesn't even know that he deserves it. That's the sad. It was like, you don't even know you deserve it. Yeah,
because he's not a bad dude. He ain't never committed a crime in his life. He ain't never, you know what I'm saying? He's not that dude. He's not a bad dude. He's a good dude. And I'm like, you don't even know that that's hard to, like, that's, when I met you, I was like, yeah, you are a rare young man. Like, there ain't a whole lot of y'all on the planet, but I have one just happened to pop up in my family. He's a good dude. And he don't even know that he deserves it.
Yeah.
You the king without the king without a country. That's But so even with that, we understand that humanity brings us a lot of things that we do have to experience. We get it. The emotional part of it, we get that. It's going to be happy, sad, mad, angry, disappointed, frustrated. We get all of these emotions. And then there's the stuff that we hear, that we try to discern the good from the bad, trying to discern the right advice from the wrong advice. And we're all going to make those decisions. We're going to go down wrong roads that we didn't know were wrong roads until we get halfway down them sometimes. So we didn't even know. But the great thing about that is you can turn around and go in the other direction. That's all part of being a human. People are like, well, no, I can't do this and I can't do that. You can do whatever your path of humanity gives you your free will to do. I think there's a lot of stuff that will be difficult. It'll be hard, but you can do it. You can. And then there's stuff that's people take lanes that might not be their lane. And me and the guy Rashad was just talking about that a while back. I could remember having a brief conversation about what men do that just don't sit right with you, and you couldn't do it. And I get it. Immediately I got it. I'm like, yeah, I was there. I could see, like I said, I saw certain women doing certain things, and in my mind, I had to ask myself that question: could I do that? How would that work? And I remember like trying or attempting to go down a path that wasn't mine.
Yeah.
And it blew up in my face. But other people they make it look like, because that could very well be their path. That's their experience, not mine. Some people can do things that never bothers them. Oh, well, I've been doing it for so long. Shit, why the fuck not? I'm gonna get mine. And I get it. Some people are like that. I don't happen to be one of those people, thank God, because I understand what's waiting for me now on the other side. I get it. It's not because I'm so good and I'm so this and I'm so righteous. No, it's about my agreements. Because I promise you, you're going to be reminded on the other side. I don't care what you got going on this side. You're going to see what the fuck. You're going to be reminded of what the fuck you did when you get over there. And like I said, it wasn't no two stories the same. I didn't hear nobody, but everybody did say, I was shown this when it happened, what I did and how I made someone feel in my human form. I was shown it. I've heard several of them say that. Some of them said I liked it. Some of them said I didn't. I didn't like it. And then some people said they crossed over and went straight to hell. Whatever hell was to them, it wasn't the same hell now. That's the thing that tripped me out. I was like, wait a minute. This is they described all this one, it was a white woman, and she was an atheist, and she had a near-death experience. She said she went straight to hell. She went straight to her, whatever her hell was, she went straight to it when she crossed over. And she said they walked her around, they walked her around and in and through hell.
She had a tour guide in hell.
She had a tour guide in hell. I'm telling you. I am telling you. And the black dude said the same thing. He said the demon that was with him kept telling him to let go. That's weird because the show is called Letting Go. It was weird. He said, let go, let go. And he said he fought. He told him, he said no. He said, send me back. I don't want to be here. He said he begged. He said, and then a light opened up somewhere up and out. They keep saying that lights come from the angles. That's weird. Remember that from C. Freeman L. He said the lights kept coming from an angle, and the girl said when she looked up and to the right. A dude said he looked behind him and to the left, and somebody said they looked up and to the left, and somebody else said they looked down and to the right. And it was never, when it came straight in front of them, they said they recognized it as a relative or the Most High Creator, whatever you want to call God. But these angels and tour guides and these demons and devils, they always came from an angle. That's weird. You should listen to a lot more of them and let me get your perspective on them, because I don't want to be. Yeah, angels of light.
Angel.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Just like the light got to hit a certain angle to make a rainbow in the rain.
That part right there. Yep. I was like, why they gotta look? So she, because even the older lady, she said, I looked up and to my right, and then when that happened, I looked down and to my left, and I was like, what is this up to the right and the left and the back and behind me and down below and under my feet and all that? But if they're coming straight for them, she said, I recognize this person as my uncle or my brother or my mother, and it was straight in front of them, or it was the light that came straight toward me. I immediately recognized it was God. Or and I'm like, but it's weird because the stories are all different. They even described what God was to them different. It was all there's no two stories that I saw that were exactly the same. They said, yeah, 2 people, 3 people said this, or 2 people said that, but the left and the right and the up and the down, that was kind of familiar with each one of them. I'm like, what is this looking up and looking down and to the right and to the left? That's weird. But we get it. We all have a path here on earth. We all have our lane. We all have our experience. And again, some of it I'm kind of like, why are we doing that? Like, why do we have to go that far to experience stuff? But that's, they're saying, okay, well, that's life. That's our humanity. Humanity's not pretty. It ain't always kind. It ain't always nice. But I take comfort in knowing that when we cross over, and we're all going that way. Now, what you gonna see when you get there, that's on you. We always say that too. But no matter what you're doing over here, you're going to die one day. You're going to lose your flesh one day. And what you become when you lose your flesh, well, that just you'll just have to wait and see, because I don't know. But I do know that there's something other than this, thank God. Yeah. So letting go.
And
the thing. Well, go ahead. I'll let you do that, and then I was going to ask you a question.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask you, do you feel, and I know you do, but I just want to know, like, what you feel about that. Do you believe in reincarnation? Do you believe that you've been here before? And how do you feel about that? And what aspect do you think, or do you kind of feel?
Well, I believe in it. Like I say, I mean, since a child, man, stuff was familiar, deja vu, knowing stuff, and I wasn't supposed to know it. And it's like just the familiarity of it all. And to be a child and be in a room full of adults and be like, man, y'all don't see nothing wrong with this shit? It kind of triggers you to like, okay, so. But I remember having dreams as a child and teenager where, I mean, were just as real, but more real than this reality. I mean, I remember being by a pyramid and people running, saying they coming to invade, and just chaos. And I remember this one dream, I would never forget it. It was a city, but everything was made out of stone. And my wife at the time, and I knew who she was.
I was just about to ask that. How did you know who she was? Yeah.
Then I just knew it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And,
I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
And a big explosion happened, and like I said, it was a city made out of stone, but it was a monorail system, like a train system. And all the men, we gathered, and I told her to get on the train. I'll see you later. And we ran into the commotion, and then I wake up here, going to school the next day. And I had another dream. It was a city made of just crystals, beautiful. I mean, I can't even describe what this was. I mean, the sky was like a greenish blue. It was just amazing. And I remember seeing the story about Atlantis. where you see the city was laid out like in a bullseye, like the target symbol. It circles around circles around circles.
Yes.
I dreamt that as a teenager. I dreamt that it was a universe. It was a school, like a college. I dreamt that. But anyway, yeah, I believe in it. And what was the rest of the question?
Just and what if you felt that you've been here and like in like do you? Well, you said you remember being specifically. You know, you had a wife and you remember this whole scene. So, and I guess I'm asking because do you feel that you had an assignment? That you, because everybody's like, you know, we made these agreements, and that's where I'm alluding to. Like, do you feel that as well? Like you have an assignment, and like I said, I'm getting downloads that this is it for you. You know, you are.
See, with me, it's still unfolding for me, and it's funny when you talk about your nephew being pretty much in a low vibing environment, I totally get that. And when you explained it a few minutes ago, I was like, damn, maybe I should do a class with young men like that, because I know there's plenty around, because I was there too. But me personally, I came back to remember my power.
Right.
Because I was just like that. I was just like him. And, I mean, people used to tell me, girls I dated, they would always say, man, you bigger than that. Like, why you think it's so small? You think like, it's like you feel like you don't deserve this. But now when you said about him, I was like, damn, I mean, maybe I should do something for them, because, I mean, I was there before. Matter of fact, one of my good old friends, you know who he is. And like I say, it affects who you hang around.
Correct.
He thought like that, and he still thinks that way. That's why I was like, man, I got to sever ties with this guy, because, nah. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I was last time I hung out with him, it was me, him, and his father. And his dad was giving him the biggest boost to his business, and he was so what's the word? He was so convinced that he was gonna fail. Me and his father was like, dude, if you don't believe it, it won't happen for you.
Yeah, if you think you're gonna fail, you will. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That part. That's very true. Yeah, it's interesting that you said, you know, it's still unfolding for you. It was funny because once my veil came off, my unfolding was so fucking fast. It was because I had already had all of this knowledge base built up spiritually, and I didn't have anywhere for it to go. So that's interesting. It was the same kind of experience, but different for me. But I knew I was bigger. I knew there was something else. One of the older black lady that had the NDE, she said, my biggest fear, she said, I don't fear dying. She said, I fear an unlived life. That's what I fear. You know, I never tried to cross over into anybody else's lane to stop them from living their life. I think that's a horrible thing to do. For you to get out of your lane and get in someone else's and try to stop their ascension, their knowledge, their spiritual gift, their introspection on who they are. I think that's even a weird thing to do. You understand what I'm saying? And for whatever reason, that's why I said not that I think I'm all that. I had no, I think I'm better than you. I've never been that person. But I just knew inside of me, like, I'm really not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I mean, I really felt that way. Like, I'm supposed to be doing something, but I can't put my finger on it. Like, what?
I know exactly
I'm wasting
what you
my
mean.
time. Yeah, I'm wasting my time over here when I should be somewhere over there doing something else. Like, why am I doing this? And so that was kind of what I was feeling when you came along, and I was just kind of getting frustrated because I had, I was trying to deal with money, and then I was trying to deal with, just life in general and in relationships, and, I got this other stuff going on, and God forbid, family. Like, that was a whole different, that's always been a constant
the human
in my
distraction.
life, that part. And, I mean, it was just, like, everything was just like, and then, like, again, when you came along, when my veil came off, I can't even describe to you the relief. Just that little small, tiny part, because it was way bigger than that. But like that, just that little piece, I was like, oh, thank God. I don't see how somebody could be that way and then not get this information and be like, yeah, no, I'm gonna go back over here and get my Bible and my new shoes and my hat.
And some Doritos.
some peanut butter and some jelly. I was like, wait a minute. This makes so much. I was like, okay, thank God. And then I started seeing my people because I kept telling you I was having this dream about the birds, and they was black. They were white birds, but they had black bodies on them, and it just didn't make sense to me. And I kept dreaming. I'm like, okay, those are my people. And so my people started coming to me, and then I kept going from there because I don't dream. When I tell people I do not dream, when I dream, it's a specific dream, and I'll have it more than once, and then I'm done. So I don't know if it's a dream or a vision. I really don't know. But they be so out there, I'm like, yeah, I ain't never seen nothing like that. So, and then I told you the whole thing about the men, and I was kind of doing some kind of, I don't even know. Yeah. I was in this place, and I was like, okay, am I a hoe? What's happening here? Like, this is a lot of men. And then I told you, like, I saw a picture, and it was that place. And then the vision that I saw for you, and I showed you, I was like, this is vision. So these people are speaking to me. They're telling me, yeah, you good. This is where you're going. This is. Because we're going to keep giving you, and like ever since then, I was like, and when I say the downloads were coming and I'm like, okay, why are they giving me this information? And then I would start telling you, hey, this is what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And sure enough, I mean, have I been wrong yet? Yeah. So, but it's not even about being right or being wrong. It's about having this feeling of, I'm on my path. It's still not easy. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying I'm living the life, and I'm not saying I'm getting riches and wealth and all of that. It could happen, and I'm expecting it up until the day I die. Fuck that. Yeah. I'm expecting it. But the joy of just knowing, oh, my God, there's some shit that I knew I was supposed to know that I wasn't getting a direct download for it. So now I know how to get it. And it's a wonderful feeling. And again, myself and the guy, Rashad, we say it all the time. You're like a sponge. We've mentioned, the lectures that we would listen to that were 6 and 7 hours long. And to us, it was like an hour, 45 minutes. So your vibration, that's a clue right there that your vibration is changing, that your elevation is changing, that how you look for information and knowledge is changing, how you take an introspective look at yourself instead of looking outside yourself at everybody else.
Yeah.
And
Man,
I just said it's unfolding for you. It's still unfolding for me too. Go ahead. You said what?
And that's how I actually came up with the title for the show today, because I know this person, and they constantly look on the outside. Politicians and the way society used to be, now everything is changing. They are going fucking insane. Where I'm sitting beside them, and you could feel the worry, the anger.
Wow.
I'm like, damn, you need to let that shit go.
I'm laughing because I just heard that somewhere else, but that's something that's real. That is real. Because I am getting to the point where I could do it before, but you could feel someone's low vibe and energy. You can feel it. That's some real shit. That is real.
I said, man, you need to let that shit go.
It is something, without your introspection, with you being, visually looking and absorbing and taking in and acting on information that is outside of you. I got to react to this. I got to know that. I got to see what that's all about. I got to do something about that. I got to get that. I got to see this. I got to know that. I got to get this from that person. I got to see what that person got. This person has doing that. And y'all have heard me say this over and over and over again a few times in a couple of shows. That will keep you in a low vibing status every time. You may feel like you're doing something great, but the Most High Creator hasn't had a conversation with you yet. Your higher self is somewhere sitting down like, when is this motherfucker going? When we gonna get this party started? Because they so busy running around worrying about everybody else, and I'm sitting right here with the answer. As long as you're looking outside of yourself and looking at somebody else's path, why would you do that? That don't even make no sense. I'm going to spend any percentage, I was going to say most of my life, but any percentage of your life spent looking at somebody else's path is always going to bring you to a low vibe. And whatever you are asking for in that low vibration, you're going to keep getting it in that low vibration. I hope this motherfucker lose their money. And the Most High Creator says, that's what you're asking for? I'm going to make you lose your money.
Yeah.
I hope this person such and so, and that such and so that you're wishing for that other person, the vibrational Most High God Creator is going to send you the same vibration that you're asking for. Because you keep asking for it. You keep asking for it. So when I make that little line of be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it. Be careful what you pray for, because you just might get it. Be careful what you keep vibing for. Yeah, I'm going to make this happen. 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 It's going to happen. If it's the last thing I do, this is what's going to happen. And guess what? It might be the last thing you do. That part. It's just, I can't make this up. I'm not that good. I'm great, but I'm not that good. Yeah, it's the law of nature. Like you said, your friend said, I'm not, this is not going to happen for me. And you keep bringing that mantra home. Yeah, I can't make it up. But, yeah, so what is the mastery behind letting go? Well, we're all still figuring that out. That's something that you should strive for until you no longer have your flesh pushing in that direction in your lane. I want to clear this out of my path. I want to look forward to this in my path. I want to move forward with this in my path. I want to be able to, if I have excess in my path and it just happens to spill over into somebody else's path, I want it to vibe with their path. I don't want to spill something over in somebody's path and it be a rock, a boulder, or a pothole, or some mud. Because that's not going to help me. We're connected. That ain't going to help me. So as I'm pushing along in my path, I want my good vibes to spill over to you. I want my well wishes to spill over to you. Because if you, my next door neighbor, I want you to have some good vibes for sure.
Yeah.
If you're in my family and I'm going along on my path, but you keep throwing shit over in my path and I'm trying to go down my path. And so you're going to look, while you're looking in my path, somebody's throwing some shit in your path. Because we're all connected, whether we want to be or not. Well, even to the mass murderers and the killers and the thrillers and all of them, yep, we connected to them too. Depends on how low can you go? How low are you willing to go? So we always say vibe high because, the only way out is to go in. That's the only way out. Well, Rashad, we got 8 minutes left in the forum. Once again, I know it sounds like we're beating a dead horse, but we're using the Crown for a reason. If we get the likes and the subscribes and the followers, great. But we have something bigger on the line, and that's our ascension.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited, come what may. I'm excited about it because it's good to know. This is like say I am happy about it, but it is good to know that this shit that I'm looking at right here ain't it.
Man.
That's so fucking good to know. Because before that, I was like, wait a minute. But it's good to know. And it's just good to know. Now, what's going to come, once I lose my flesh, I can speculate and say, this might happen. Hey, I don't know. Maybe I'll get a tour of hell. I might. You can't say who you deserve. I know what I was meant to tell you. It was one lady that had her NDE, and she said, I was actually surprised when I had my near-death experience that there were people in heaven that I thought wouldn't have made it. I was like, damn. I cannot make this up. Oh, she's an older lady. But
how your ass get here?
Right. I thought that was like, no, she didn't. She's like, I was surprised. She said, the people that you think ain't in heaven, they might be there. And the people that you think might be there might not. So, it just, but yeah, I can't make this up. She's an older lady. I'm going to see if I can get her name and send it to you. But yeah, she said, I was surprised to see some people actually in her so-called heaven. Whatever heaven was to her when she crossed over. She was like, yeah, I saw somebody and they let me know it was them. And they're like, what? And she was like, I was really shocked because this was not a nice person. This person was not a nice person, but I don't think that has anything to do with it. It might not. So, again, everybody's experience will not be the same. But do we all have some things that we could let go? I'm going to say yes.
Yep.
There are some things that's just not serving your energy right now. You could be doing so many other things. You could be doing so many other things if you want to. Because again, the thing that I am hearing is that it's your own free will. You make that decision. But you got to deal with it on the other side. Just know that. But yeah, there's a bunch of things. And again, I'm not just talking shoes and cars and clothes and money. That is what it is. Everybody wants that. But that stuff that you feel like it resonates with in your heart. Are you really that person? That's, how does someone get to be a cereal? Other than like the other kind of cereal, but cereal with an S, serial killer. Like, that means you've done this more than once and you like it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a habitual liar, that means you've told so many lies that you're good with it. I'm slick with it. Like, oh, really? Like, I done had so many women, or I done laid with so many men. I don't give a damn. And again, my hat's off to prostitutes, hoes, trick sluts, whatever you want to call them, whatever y'all's names is out there, ladies of the evening, street workers, whatever. I don't see how y'all do it. I don't see how you do it. My hat's off to you.
I'm a man, and I don't see how you do that shit.
I do not. Yeah. I mean, you know, shout out to the women that's picking the right one. They can put you out with just one shot. I'm good with that. I don't need a three-peat in one night. I really don't. That's not my. Even when I could, because I'm nearly asked, because you old and can't do it no more. That part too, shit, bitch. I got shit to do. I can't, you can't just, it's not gonna be that way. But even when I could have, I didn't. That was just like, I don't get it. But I digress. I hope that your path stays clear of debris. I hope that the Most High Creator only puts those in your path that He feels the need for you to help. I hope that the obstacles are those that you can clearly overcome, because they're going to come. I hope path never has obstacles. Then you might as well be dead, because that defeats the whole purpose of why we're here as humans, and we get it. I want to thank you guys for rocking with the Crown tonight. Myself and the guy Rashad in the building. The mastery of letting go, and just letting go of shit that don't mean anything about nothing to your life right now. This is the time more than anything. Life was good back in the day. You could go to school and your bills was paid, and you get a job, and a loaf of bread might have been 75 cents. I don't know. I went way back in the day, but it was just that vibe and knowing who you were. Rashad, we got a couple of minutes left in the forum. Give the people something.
Yeah, if it no longer serves you and it's eating you up alive, it's too heavy to carry. Empty your cup so you can refill it.
Wow. Yeah. You can't get fresh water when there's mud in your cup already. And that's real. I am your host, DurDanah, and you've been listening to Crown Knowledge Radio with myself and the God, Rashad, in the building. We will be back. Remember, we are fine-tuning, we are upgrading, we are eventually going to, we'll still be on the Crown from time to time, but we're going to move up to something bigger, something better, because we deserve it. How about that? We deserve it. And why do we deserve it? Yeah, because Crown Knowledge is all about perfecting that energy that resonates with you, whatever that means to you, your guru, your gangster, your God, your goddess, your goodness, whatever it is that your energy means to you. We want to elevate that for you in the Crown. You're going to be hearing more of us. Crown Knowledge Radio on Instagram, Crown Knowledge 4 on X, which is now Twitter. I don't know if that's up and running or not, but we are Crown Knowledge Radio on Facebook. Look us up, hit us up, follow us, join the conversation. Thank you for rocking with us in the Crown. I love you, and there is nothing you can do about it. Good night, Rashad. Peace.
Good night. Peace.